We're in Tennessee with Nissan driving the all-new Murano.
It's been a while, Nissan, 10 years to be exact.
Pretty quick shifting.
All right. This is an all-new engine for this latest generation of Murano. Andrea, what's under the hood of this thing?
A 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with a 9-speed automatic transmission. Gone is the V6 and the CVT. It has 241 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque. That's 19 less horsepower than the previous model, but you gain 20 pound-feet of torque. Standard all-wheel drive in Canada, front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive models are available in the US, and you can put regular fuel in the Murano.
I'll take torque any day of the week. It gets you out of the pocket, gets you away from a light. So this is an all-new model. They have stacked it with a bunch of standard equipment. Let's get into it.
The base model comes with a 12.3-inch digital driver display, a 12.3-inch touchscreen, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a 6-speaker audio system, a wireless charger, leatherette upholstery, heated power front seats, a heated steering wheel, a power liftgate, and Nissan Safety Shield 360.
So first of all, this platform is a heavily modified version of the last platform that was introduced 10 full years ago. That's why we're saying at the beginning, it's been a while, Nissan. To leave a car for 10 years is way too long. Anyway, they're finally here with a new one. So they've modified the platform a lot, plumbing in the new engine and transmission with good results.
Yeah, I mean, this handles really well. It definitely has enough power. You saw it right off the top with acceleration from a stoplight, and it's good. I find that there is a slight delay when accelerating, but once you get up to highway speeds, you'll find that passing power is really good, and the cabin remains quiet.
So this engine has been used for a while now with the Infiniti side of the company in the QX50. It's variable compression, it's turbocharged, and it's 2 liters. So if you think about an engine like that in the marketplace, it's typically in the premium brands, right? 2-liter turbocharged 4 cylinders. Nissan is not a premium brand, so I think you're going to see a theme here, a little more premium offering. What does it really compete against? That's our big question for you guys today. One thing I want to say, Andrea, they changed the suspension, not adaptive suspension, but they did equip this with frequency selective dampers. This is technology I absolutely love, and it really makes a nice combination of comfort and handling.
Yeah, it really eats up those bumps in the road. And maneuverability is really great. This model has the intelligent 3D around view monitor. And boy, it is so great to use when you're trying to get in and out of those tight spaces with different camera angles. It has electronic steering now in this new model, and it feels well weighted. It's not too light, and I have to say the steering wheel has this bit of a chunky feel to it and flat bottom.
I'm not crazy about the 2-spoke though. Something about the design of that wheel, I get what they're doing, but I think what they're trying to do is accentuate the width of the cabin, so a horizontal approach across the dash, and then a one sort of span across the wheel there with the flat bottom. It's all very side to side. The other reason they went to the electric power steering is because then they can add in all the advanced safety features that would have been missing from a car that was introduced 10 years ago. There was no lane keep assist, none of that stuff, and now it's all included in this.
So they have Pro Pilot Assist as standard equipment. Pro Pilot 1.1 is available. Unfortunately, this model doesn't get 2.1. When we asked Nissan about it, they said, yes, we're working on bringing it, but it's not going to be available at launch time. Another thing about the steering wheel, I wish there were real buttons on it. You've got this high gloss and the capacitive feedback. Not my favorite. This comes standard with active noise cancellation and active sound control. And when you get the 10-speaker Bose sound system, which is available on the middle trim, it accentuates that even more.
All right, so I want to talk about the design because that's what gets people into the showroom. We've seen that with the Nissan Kicks already. It's selling very well because it's got a bold design to it, and they've done a similar kind of thing here. You're seeing the front grille that used to be they called it a boomerang V or a V, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
They had that for so long. Now they're moving to more of this horizontal look with the daytime running lights embedded in the grille. Very, very clean on the outside. The car is actually 2.6 inches wider, so they made the shoulders square and the hips at the back a little more athletic.
Yeah, I think it looks really bold. I know Nissan was going for more of an elegant look to it, but I think it actually has a sporty vibe to it as well. This is the same length as the outgoing model, and there's no change with the wheelbase. It gets 8.3 inches of ground clearance, which is a tiny bit higher than the outgoing model. It comes standard with LED headlamps, LED tail lamps. You get 20-inch wheels, available 21-inch wheels, and a tire repair kit. A temporary spare tire is available as an accessory, so you're going to pay more for that.
All right, I want to talk about the back, because as much as the front is a bit of a showstopper with those lights embedded in the grille, at the back, they've really cleaned things up a lot. So they've moved the license plate down into the lower bumper. So now you have a nice looking tailgate that's really clean, of even buttons. So to open the power liftgate, there's a button embedded into the Nissan logo. And in addition to that, just like they have at Lexus, they've put the windshield wiper hidden under the rear valance. So it really cleans up the back and gives it a more upscale, sophisticated look. I think one vehicle that kind of reminds me of this, Andrea, or is similar to this and just came out this year, was the Envision from Buick. Also an elegant looking, premium feeling design. I think they have something similar.
Yeah, Buick has come out with some really nice models. They're going with this same kind of approach, more elegant and sophisticated. The Murano has always been unique looking, and I think that's really the appeal of it. It's nice to see Nissan come out with this new model finally, but to give it a different look than other vehicles in its fleet, which are more rugged looking. This is available power folding exterior mirrors, which is great if you're parking on a street. And also Nissan has made the doors larger, so it will be easier to get children in and out of the vehicle, or even pets. Just loading and unloading will be much easier.
Yeah, very similar to what they did with Rogue. I mean, the doors open to almost 90 degrees and getting in is no problem. This video is brought to you by Quad Lock. Quad Lock cases and all the accessories. I've been using them for about a week now. The first thing I can tell you is I'm impressed with the quality of materials. It's well put together. The case feels great in your hand. It gives you protection, but it's not too bulky. And man, can this stuff do a lot. So this Quad Lock can be used with the original attach and twist design for security to an available mount. Or you can do a mag head attachment, and it's held with the power of magnets. They have so many different ways to secure your phone, with window suction mounts, a base suction mount, vent mounts, and all kinds of accessories. So we're sitting in our car, you have a different car, and you might have a totally different setup and a different use as well. With all the accessories for Quad Lock, you can set up the perfect mount for your situation for Apple and Android phones.
So I'm on my phone and computer all the time, and I like to have my phone mounted to this base, but it's a special one because it acts as a wireless charger for multiple devices. The bottom is a wireless charger for charging my earbuds, or maybe a smartwatch, or the phone itself. It's made of high quality aluminum and it looks great. So make sure you use the promo code MOTORMOUTH at checkout for 10% off.
We're going to talk about the interior, and one thing is they have a push-button transmission here. Not our favorite. What else are we going to put it in, Andrea?
Got to put it in S for subscribe, and if you can hit that notification bell, you'll be notified when all of our reviews drop, and then you can watch them.
And we do this, the Couple Car Review, twice a week. The first one drops on Wednesday.
We put another one out on Saturday.
So make sure to like and subscribe. That really helps. All right, Andrea, over to you. What do you think of this interior?
Wow. Very upscale. I mean, I was not expecting this. If you badge this as an Infiniti model, I would say, oh yeah, this makes sense. It is very open, it's elegant, it's upscale. The materials that Nissan has used in here really feel like there's some good quality. I like that most of the areas that you touch are soft touch materials, whether it's the dash, you've got it here at the center console. They could have easily gone with hard plastic, but instead soft touch materials and some nice stitching.
There is some shiny hard plastic in the center console where that push button shifter is, but I like that they mirrored what they did with the Aria electric SUV at Nissan with the wood. When you hit it, it kind of gives you a little vibration. Can't really really show it on camera that well, but it's a nice feature for sure.
And it's all in a wood trim. One thing I am disappointed in is to put on the heated, ventilated seats, you've got to go into the screen. There is a tab that stays on at the bottom of the screen, but I don't know, I just like to have buttons. There is a volume knob, and the heated steering wheel does have a button beside the steering wheel that you can use, so you don't have to do that particular feature in the screen. Storage in here is good. This center console is big. It's a floating center console, so you have storage underneath, so you can put a purse or some snacks or whatever other items you like. And even the door pockets are really large.
All right, so what I want you to do now is we're not going to do it this time around because we've been really struggling with this back and forth of who this competes against, because it is a Nissan, it's not an Infiniti, but it has a real kind of upscale vibe, and it is kind of classified in the mid-size category. So we're just in a moment going to compare it to the Buick in terms of space in the front and rear seats, and you'll be surprised about those numbers.
Now there's also a Venetian inspired, it's supposed to be glass.
It's not glass.
No, it's not glass, but it's got a textured design, but when you touch it, it's all smooth. I think it's really well done. I also think if you don't want to get that top trim because you want something that maybe is a little bit more budget friendly for you, I think that middle trim offers a lot of value. That's where you're going to get heated rear seats, 64 color ambient lighting. You also get the panoramic sunroof with a sunshade, Google built in to the touchscreen, the 3D around view monitor, a 10-speaker Bose sound system, which actually sounds quite good, and driver's seat memory, which includes the mirrors. This top trim is the only trim that doesn't get the leatherette interior. This is a semi-aniline leather with quilting.
Now here are the features on the top trim: ventilated front seats, massaging front seats, lumbar support for the passenger, a head-up display, rear sunshades, and a motion-activated power liftgate. Well, here's me getting in the back seat. It's pretty good legroom, pretty good headroom. I find there's no way to grab the armrest in the center of the back seat. You'll also notice there's vents, there's available heated rear seats, and USB-C ports.
Comparing the Murano to the Buick Envision, the Murano has 44.3 inches of front row legroom, which is almost 4 inches more than the Buick. Second row legroom at 36.3 inches falls short to the Buick by 3 inches.
Lifting up the power liftgate, you see it has a long and useful cargo area under the floor. They've equipped this model with a temporary spare tire. We've read that there's a tire repair kit, but you can get a temporary spare tire, which is good to know.
Cargo space behind the second row is 32.9 cubic feet, and overall cargo space is 63.5 cubic feet, which is larger than the Envision.
Okay, we teased it already about the price. I think you're going to be very impressed, especially for Canadians. Usually it's the other way around. The pricing in Canada is very good, so let's get into it.
Let's start with pricing. We'll do Canada first, and then we'll move on to the US. We're using MSRP, and this is the all-wheel drive model. The base SV trim starts at just over $46,500 in Canada, and the top trim is just under $54,500. In the US, the base trim starts at just under $41,500, and the top trim is just over $49,500.
Here's the all-wheel drive fuel economy: 10.6 liters per 100 kilometers city, 8.6 on the highway. That's 22 miles per gallon city, 27 miles per gallon highway. The Murano can tow 1,500 pounds, and the warranty is 3 years, 60,000 kilometers, or 36,000 miles. So if you've watched our videos in the past, and of course you have because you've subscribed, right? You know we typically do 4 cars it competes against. Andrew and I are having a real problem deciding what the 4 cars would be because we think this pushes into kind of premium space. We asked you already to type below, but what did Nissan say?
Yeah, Nissan said that they actually think, based on price, that the Chevrolet Blazer and the Kia Sorento will compete against this. I'm not sure about that. I think that the Mazda CX-70 gets a little bit pricey and is larger than this, so maybe that's not the best fit. But there are large 5-passenger vehicles available. I don't really even think the Honda Passport.
No, you would then you get into Grand Cherokee and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what we want to hear from you. What do you guys think? Right now, we're going to get into 2 things we like, 2 things we'd like to see improve.
Well, I certainly love the value that this Murano offers.
They came with style. Style gets people into the dealerships.
What I'd like to see is a temporary spare tire offered on all trims.
They've done such a nice job with materials in here. We talk about it all the time. They could tone down the shiny hard plastic. Other than that, this thing is going to sell. And what do you think of that? It's the Nissan Murano.
Thanks for watching, and if you like what you see, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.